Hey guys, Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness on this wonderful Wednesday here in Connecticut. Life's good, guys. Life is good. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. Let's get right to it. I used to, back in the day, feel air inside my mouth, in my oral cavity. All right? Different thing now. Let me honk a little bit, and we'll get to it. After 2 hours of playing, the tale of two concertos. I don't usually do that. The second movement of one morphed into the third movement of the Hummel. Anyway, this little nugget came to me while I was meditating the other day. Whenever I meditate, I usually keep a pad and a pen right next to me so things come, I can write them down. A lot of times I get through meditating, I can't read what I wrote. But anyway, this came to me. Like all of us, and I've told you before, I went through a whole Claude Gordon phase like everybody else. Like everybody else. Okay? The syllables, the 52 weeks to a double high C, blah, 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 blah. Did it. Got some results. It wasn't what I wanted. At the time, I was playing in 1/4 C, and basically, with all that air going into 1/4 C, I had no chance. I had no chance. But I have said publicly many times, outside of Jerry, I think he was the closest one to it. Okay? The closest one to it. But let me explain what happened while I was meditating. Okay? This came to me. Anyway, if you're not meditating, you should be. $10. Anyway, so as you know, our tongue is here. The Claude Gordon syllables start with ah, and as you go higher, ah, e, 3 E's. Okay? Okay? That is well outlined in his books, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Now, what I used to feel, and before I said that, I met Claude Gordon and I had dinner with him once. One of the nicest men I've ever met. I really and truly believe that. I was up in Montreal playing a clinic for Boosey and Hawkes at the time, and they had the most incredible E-flat cornet that fit perfectly with the Calet mouthpiece. I don't even know what mouthpiece are. The Calet mouthpiece I was using at the time, and I absolutely killed the Haydn as a demonstration for Boosey and Hawkes. And he came up to me and couldn't be more effusive with his praise and asked me to go out to dinner with him. And we just talked shop. It was like, I wish Jerry was there. But again, we weren't, as I told before, Jerry and I were not into the tongue at this point. All I talked about was the bottom lip, making it thick, okay, and all that sort of stuff. And he was talking about his, so I wish I knew then what I know now. The credo of many guys my age, isn't it? What's the old saying? Get smart too late, something like that. Anyway, so, but what I was feeling, if this is the bottom lip, so this is the oral cavity, right? This was all full of air. And back then, I thought I was manipulating the air. To a degree, I was. But the tongue was so far back, and as it goes it goes up as it goes back. It leaves the oral cavity wide open and almost impossible to compress. The only way you are going to compress with that ah-ee is up here back in the throat. And that was not, in any way, shape, or form, what he was advocating. All this air inside the oral cavity is not compressed to what we're used to. Okay? Now what we have, if that's the bottom lip and this is the tongue, this is all packed in, firm. The air is back here, and is it controlled right there? I feel a little buzz on the middle of my tongue. There's hardly any air at all. Well, first of all, the oral cavity is full. The air happens to be back here, and it is almost dormant until I'm compressing it into right there. And I'm completely controlling the entire tone production right there at the point of attack and vibration, with a little sliver of compressed air, but not a lot of air. That compression is what gives me the enormous tone. Whether I'm playing an E flat above double C, and then right down into Caress the Baby, whatever the case may be, and then right into Bullet like multiple tongue attacks, that's it. Now, I know lots of players that have some success with those syllables. And Roy Stevens and some of the other ones have, different take on them. But basically it's the same thing. Same thing. It's not as good to compress the air. Not as good as compress the air. And I will say this. Claude Gordon was not, when we were having that dinner, was not holding a master class with me. He was not tutelage. He was literally picking my brain just as much as I was picking his. And I had nothing to tell him about the tongue. Oh my God, if I could go back in time and have that discussion with him now, I guarantee you, he would go back to his hotel room and fool around with it and see what I guarantee you, he was that inquisitive. Very much like me and Jerry in that regard. Let me know what you're doing. That's all there is to it. You're having success, let me know what you're doing. And as I said, I killed that performance. Got a standing ovation, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, so that's that. It's this instead of this. And that, I'm making it look a whole lot bigger difference than it is with my hands. That difference is a 1/4 inch inside the oral cavity of your mouth. 1/2 inch, I don't know. Don't care, it doesn't matter. But that, as opposed to that, is huge. Huge. It's the secret to struggling, sore lips, never having to worry about your chops again. All right? All right. Eat and drink fruits and vegetables and live your life with true power. Not the fake stuff, true power. Love you all.